What's up, guys? This is definitely Jonny and I's most anticipated video of the year.
Everyone's been like texting me, tweeting me like, when's that Dylan Halter's album of the year video coming out? Top 10 albums of 2018.
Alright, so first I'll go through my 10 through 6. Number 10, I'm going to give it to Snail Mail for Lush because it's a really good debut. It's really dreamy and just kind of cool and relaxing. Number 9 is going to be Caro Caro Bonito, and they really switched up their style from the past, which I thought was awesome. Next, we're going to have Playboi Carti, Die Lit. That album is just like packed to the brim with bangers, and the fact that he features Skepta on a song was just... Next, we're going to go to an album that I actually have, A Brief Inquiry into Online Relationships. This is Johnny's. I did not expect to like this album as much as I did. It was really good. It was packed with really good singles, and I really can appreciate it. Especially my favorite song is How to Draw. To complete my top, my 10 through 6 is Twin Fantasy, Car Seat Headrest. It's one of my favorite albums of all time, but the fact that it wasn't written this year is why I'm not going to put it in the top 5. But the songwriting on that album is just insane. Will Toledo is able to make like a 12-minute song that grips you the whole time. And I actually saw them in concert. And that was awesome. It was a really great experience.
Okay guys, hey guys, this is my top 10 albums of the year. If you want to hear my top songs of the year, you can tune into my radio show, Wild and Fluorescent, on WPUB.org, Wednesdays from 5 to 6. Coming in at number 10 was Troye Sivan's Bloom album. This was a really good album that I think really established him as like a real like pop star in his own right. This was a really great pop album with like a lot of like synths and like electronic influences. Great, super cool, super nice, easy listen. At number 9 was Kali Uchis' debut album, Isolation. Kali Uchis is such an awesome artist. She's like Latin influenced, and this album, there's like no bad songs on it. You can listen start to finish, and they all like have a similar vibe, but they're very unique in their own sense, and she's just awesome. Coming in at number 8, we have a repeat, but a little bit higher, was Snail Mail's Lush. This album, I was sleeping on it all summer. I didn't get into it until the fall, but it's so good. A lot of people say that the songs sound the same, but I just see it as they're very cohesive, and she has a style that she knows how to master, and she mastered the fuck out of it. Coming in at number 7, is that what I'm on? Is Robyn's Honey. So Robyn is an artist I've been obsessed with for so long, but this was such a cool album. Very like experimental and synth-based. I say synth a lot, but it really paid off. And she made some really cool breakup songs, like dance songs, love songs. And coming in at number 6 is Iridescence by Brockhampton. Brockhampton has had a year. They had like a scandal, and they had to like regroup themselves and like rebrand themselves. But they really paid off with this album. It was super experimental and like UK pop influence, and I love it. Now we're gonna move into top 5.
Alright guys, getting into the top 5 albums of the year, I'm going to talk a little bit more in depth about these ones than I did with the last. So let's start out with number 5. This nearly didn't make it, but I had to put this on, and it's yay. Yes, it's yay. When this came out, I was not expecting me to like go crazy over a 20-minute. It feels like an EP, but when it's so good front to back, you just have to appreciate everything that went into it. I'm not gonna be the type of person that's like gives Kanye full credit, because he does have a team that works on his music with him, but I think we should focus less on like the songwriting when it comes to him, and more on like the Ghost Town was just an incredible experience hearing that for the first time. 070 Shake, she did a great job on that song. My number 4 spot is going to be from the legendary electronic music producer Aphex Twin. And if you know me, you know that my Twitter name is usually Alberto Balsam, which is definitely my favorite Aphex Twin song from that one album, this album. Sorry, I forget the names. But the Collapse EP really surprised me. In the EP format, I really feel like electronic music can be more approachable, because to some people, the lack of lyrics or the lack of just like song structure can kind of seem off-putting, but when you put it into a shorter form like this, it can be more enjoyable. And not to mention, I really like the album cover. I was lucky to find this. I did not expect to get a physical copy of this. My number 3 spot, I'm really partial to this artist. He's one of my favorites, and it's going to be Father John Misty's Got Favorite Customer. It has the colored vinyl. Kind of, I got into pure comedy, and then, you know, he already had this album out by the time I got into pure comedy, so I just was able to go right into it. And Hang Out at the Gallows is just such an beginning song. Then my favorite song in here is actually Please Don't Die. I always love that. I just love the idea of a song that's called Please Don't Die, which I thought was kind of fucking profound. So that's why this makes it so high, number 3. Mitski with... I heard the song Nobody, and I'm like, okay, that's a pretty good song. Other songs like, I really always liked Why Didn't You Stop Me? Old Friend, I thought was just like a really cute, nice song. And Pink in the Night was a song that took me a while to really appreciate. That's one of my favorites, especially on the second half. When I checked my Apple Music stats for the end of the year, this is what I listened to the most, and I was not really that surprised. And it was Kids See Ghosts, which I just got today. I ordered it in June, and it came today, December 16th. A rock album. I'd never really appreciated Kid Cudi as much as I do now. He kind of has many different voices, I would say, and first time you listen, you're going to probably appreciate Fourth Dimension the most. That song's just really, it's a great sample. Obviously, Kanye does a good performance on it, but I feel like Cudi shines way more than Kanye on this album. Cool, I'm really glad to finally own this. But yeah, that's my top 5.
This will be my top 5 albums of the year. So coming in at number 5 was an album that actually really surprised me on how much I liked it, because it's not something I usually listen to, and that's Golden Hour by Casey Musgraves. And I'm not a country music fan at all, but what Casey did with this album was so incredible. She says it was all inspired by this acid trip that like made her reevaluate her life. And then she wrote Slow Burn, which is like probably my favorite song on the album. I just think it's just the best. And then the rest of the album came from that. And it's about like reflection and love and change and like finding like joy in like little things. And it's like still country influenced, but it has a lot of like synths. Take a shot every time I say synth. And like they're showing support for Casey Musgraves. Yeah, they stand Casey. Yeehaw. And every time I listen to this album, like, I think that maybe country music isn't that bad, even though this is pretty much a pop album. Coming in at number 5 is Janelle Monáe, Dirty Computer. Such a phenomenal record. She did a film with it called Dirty Computer, a motion picture, and it's so cool. It's like 500 Days of Summer meets like Gay, Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind, and she like came out with this album, which is awesome. And it's like Prince influenced. Prince worked on it before he died. You can dance to it. You can cry to it. It's political. It's liberating. Like, it's so good. Janelle Monáe, this is like her peak. She's always been an incredible artist, but this is the first album of hers that I've like fallen in love with. And I went to her live show. Actually, I think I've seen Troy. I've seen Callie, I've seen Snail Mail, haven't seen Robin, seen Brockhampton, haven't seen Casey Musgraves, seen Janelle, and I've seen 2 of the other people on my list, which we'll talk about later. But she has an incredible live show. She's such a good dancer, such a good performer. Coming in at number 3, very, very underrated album. I don't see anyone ever talking about it, and it was really low budget and like indie. But it's Boy in Jeans by Ryan Beatty. So Ryan Beatty was like a YouTube star like a long time ago, but he made a resurgence last year working with Brockhampton. He sang on Queer and a couple of Bleach, and then a couple other songs. And then he put out this record this year, and I was expecting like it to be good. Like I listened to it because like everyone in Brockhampton was promoting it, but like what he put out was like so unexpected and cool, and like a lot of Brockhampton worked on it. And so it has that kind of influence, but it's so uniquely him, and it has like Frank Ocean, Rex Orange County in it, and it's gay, and like every song, they all fit together and they flow into each other. There's like little vocal interludes, but It's a really cool album about self-discovery, and it tells a really nice story. Every song is good. Every song is unique. I highly recommend you check it out. I love the album cover, too, with the little spiral. Coming in at number 2 is the 1975, A Brief Inquiry into Online Relationships. This was definitely my most anticipated album of the year. The 1975 are my favorite band of all time. This album was definitely not what I was expecting, but what they gave was phenomenal. It's very Radiohead influenced, with like a lot of like influence from their earlier EPs, and I loved all their EP like music, so I was very happy. And they brought back a song from I Like It When You Sleep, bonus tracks, and then I think Love It If We Made It is like one of the best songs of the year. It's so brilliant. I think it's one of the best songs they've ever done. And then like every song is like unique and weird. It's so weird, but it's like such great commentary on like millennial life and like what it's like to live online and like losing yourself in that and trying to find yourself in the wake of being obsessed with who you are on the internet and like trying to find love in the midst of that. And yeah, it's a brilliant album. I love it. And coming in at number 1, we've already talked about it. Mitski, Be the Cowboy. The coolest thing about this album for me is that what appears to be its biggest weakness on first listen turns into its biggest strength the more you listen to it, which is how short most of the songs are. First time I listened to it, I was like, this is like phenomenal, but like some of the songs do feel like underdeveloped, like they could have been a full song. But the more I listened, the more I realized that like she literally did not come to fuck around. She was just like, I said what I needed to say. This is what I wrote down. I don't need to say any more shit. This is everything I need to say. And it's so precise and like there's no filler. Everything feels specific and so thought out. And then like the anthematic songs are like so big, and then the simple songs are so simple. And I know that sounds like a stupid thing to say, but like Geyser and like Nobody and A Pearl feel so monumental. Like I sound stoned right now. Like I'm getting so passionate, but I just like this album. It is a journey from the highs of Geyser to like ending with Two Slow Dancers, this like stripped down song about lost love and like everything in between. And then I think Nobody is my favorite song of the year. It's the kind of thing that Lorde did with Greenlight, where it's like taking your sadness and taking it to this place where all you can do is like explode and dance about it. And I thought it was such an incredible, incredible album, and the art design is so well done. And I really hope people check Mitski out because I think she's criminally underrated. And she came into the spotlight a lot with this album this year, but I really want more press for her. So that is it for our albums of the year. Thank you for tuning in. Stream Be the Cowboy on all music platforms.
A rock album.